Actually, I want to see, get the vibes going first. Talk about how was y'all Valentine's, how y'all did, how y'all feeling today. Y'all what y'all did for Valentine's?
I was asleep, but I
You
never
ain't
do
had no,
nothing.
you ain't had no boo.
No.
Yes, I was a
Jay,
boo.
you slacking. You didn't get nothing for Valentine's.
Actually,
Not a
actually,
fly.
I text her. I text her in the morning. I told her Happy Valentine's Day, and I sent her some lunch money.
Oh, that's cute. What about you, Link?
Next question.
Ah,
What is that?
Next question, Tamika.
Oh, it was just
Next,
Taco Tuesday for you?
no, it was regular school day for me.
Hmm.
What about tonight? All right. We're gonna keep it rolling. So today's topic is culture.
You're pissing me off, y'all.
So we got into an argument. It's for the backstory. We got into an argument in the group chat talking about culture. What cultures
Nobody
do
got into
people claim?
argument. I just want to put that out there.
No,
If, no, it
Don't
mostly
try to
pissed me
make these
off.
people think that we dysfunctional on the back end, in
They
our
talking
group
about
chat. We
something
did
you and the
not
big
get in no
We got a little
argument.
disagreement. My bad. We got a little disagreement going on, and
was
it
this?
was So well, I was thinking, what is culture? How do you define culture?
Culture is culture. Culture is culture. But your ethnic group, the way that you look is the way that you look. Period.
But how do you define
Period.
culture? What makes you claim that certain culture?
You
So
You okay?
I
So
could claim a Japanese culture, even though
I
I
don't
know
think you
nothing from
could
Japan.
claim that. It
Exactly. So
depends
how
on
does
if you. Well, I don't think that you could claim that culture, and I don't think that that was really like the breakdown of what our disagreement was. To be honest, I don't think it was. Well, you say that. So I think our disagreement was that you saying that you're not black.
I never said that. I never said
you
that.
did say that.
I
You
said
did. You
Don't put
said
your
you
hand up like
wasn't.
you in church and you're trying to exclude yourself because that's
what
what
I
you
s-
said.
Boy,
what I
look
said
at you.
is I claimed my Hispanic. I said you guys asked me what is my culture. I said I'm Hispanic, and you guys are like, oh,
No,
why are you discrediting me like you black?
No. Don't.
no.
Nobody
Actually, you
said
did. No, you did. You did. You at first you was like so. Basically, we were talking about the whole Beyonce thing, and you was like, okay, I see where I went wrong. I could see why she's big in y'all culture, or you said something of the lines of I can see why y'all respect her, something like that because she's in y'all culture. And I was like, what you mean y'all culture? Like basically saying that you're not in our culture.
he said,
And
and I
go
quote,
ahead.
Pull it up.
I
I
understand.
put it on my phone. I can't do it right here. Pull it up, girl.
He said, I understand why she got so much impact in y'all's culture. Dre said, what you mean, y'all culture? Aren't you a part of the culture? You proceeded to say, I'm a part of the Hispanic culture.
What else?
Yeah,
And he said something about, well, he said it's like y'all talking about Romeo Santos and Prince Royce.
that's my culture.
Basically, that's
What
his
I'm trying to
culture.
say.
It's basically what he was trying to say. But go down to the fact where I can remember a point where he
So,
said he wasn't black.
Lay said,
He's
you not mixed.
Mexicano.
No,
He
they
said something
asked him,
like
was he not mixed? You said, no, I'm Hispanic. And
yeah.
then the Mexican part. And then that's when,
Yeah, I got into that.
No, that's when you proceed. That's when you proceed to say, I'm not Mexican. I'm Dominican. Then I said, oh, he Dominican.
no. And
He
Lay
Dominican.
talking about, no, Dre talking about something, bro, you're black.
You're Dominican. You're Dominicano. You're black. Baby got
But no, so it's
This what he said. He said, Dre said, hey, if that man don't want to be black, leave him be. And then Justice said, we are not black.
We
there
are.
we go. So
What did I say though? We are not black. We are. I said something else. Y'all making it seem like I just said I'm not black. I said
No, that's
else.
what you said.
What I said?
You
said
kept
you
saying
wasn't
that you was
black.
Dominican, that you're not black.
Yeah, I'm Dominican.
Okay.
So you're not black, right?
I mean, so I'm mixed. I'm
But Lay asked was you mixed, you said no.
But that's okay. So let me tell y'all.
I have to refill because he gonna piss me off.
So
I don't delete nothing. I keep the receipts, honey.
Okay, so
Let's
this is
pull
crazy
the
though.
phone out on your ass.
So this is crazy though. Like
I'm mad that this phone don't get the messages.
all my life it was like, oh, I'm not black, I'm not white. So that's been all my life. So when you guys ask me what culture, like what part, and I say I'm Dominican, that's my culture. That's where I grew up being Dominican. I grew up listening to Spanish. We were dominantly Spanish people. So that's why you guys said why like I didn't claim being black or part of the black culture. That's because I'm Dominican. I'm part of the Dominican culture. That's what I grew up in. Y'all don't know about like bachata, merengue. So that's what I grew up in. That's what I
we
know.
don't know about.
Y'all grew up in that?
I didn't know what
First of all, let me tell you, you should know this about me. You know me since elementary school. I grew up with Hispanic people, so you should know I'm very familiar with that culture. So, but not to cut you off, but did you grow up in Dominican Republic or did you grow up in the United States?
United States.
Okay, you grew up in the United States. When you were younger, were you around more Dominican people or were you around more black people?
Dominican.
You were around more Dominican. So, okay, now let me ask the burning questions that I just really wanted to ask you. From what Kay said, you said that you wasn't black. That means that you don't claim the black culture, whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean that's how you guys took it. I guess I should have reworded that, but I'm not trying to like take away from black culture because I do identify as a black culture. I do identify as black, but I'm not dominantly black.
Okay. So you're not predominantly black. You say that hold on, y'all. You say that you're a Hispanic man, whatever. That's who you want to be. That's who you want to be.
I got a question.
Why do you feel so comfortable saying nigger?
That's I mean
Wait.
I also have that. I also have that descent. Like
But
I'm I come from my blackness comes from DR, not from America. Like so, it's different. If you go back to our history, they were brought slaves to DR too. We have that Afro descent. So we have but we have that Spaniard descent. So it was a mix of two different cultures combined in one. And DR, that's what you have. That's our culture. We aren't Mexican. We have a different type of language. Our diction is different. Everything like all these Hispanic cultures are different. So that's why I say I'm Dominican. I don't say I'm American. I'm not. Although I was born here, but my culture is Dominican.
So you are American because that's what your birth certificate say. That's what everything on paper is. You're American.
you do that. That's not,
Yeah, but my culture, is American Dominican.
Can I ask my question? So I just want to like before I take a deep dive, I just want to know like, are both of your parents Dominican, or is one black and one Dominican, or like what's the?
So my dad is from Nicaragua,
Mm-hmm.
but my mom is Dominican. But
Okay.
So my dad comes from Native Americans. Was like his in his descent. There's Native Americans. There's Spaniards. There's a whole lot of bunch of cultures. And but then it was born in Nicaragua and then came to Miami. My mom is Dominican. Was born and raised in that island and came to Miami, and that's how I'm American. But I don't know nothing about. I don't know much about my dad's side. So it's a culture that I'm unfamiliar with. Like I know things, but I was not grow up. I didn't grow up in that, so I don't know that. I don't know the history behind Nicaragua. I don't know the language they have. I was never been to Nicaragua, so I don't know nothing about that culture. I don't know much about that culture. But I was grew up in the Dominican culture, where my family, from my mom's side, is where I grew up around. We're all Dominicans. We all speak Spanish. We all have our language. We all eat the food, the art. Everything we know is Dominican culture. That's why I say I'm Dominican, not Nicaraguense, but I'm Dominican, although I'm a mix.
Your first language not is not even Spanish though.
My first language was Spanish.
But you don't even speak Spanish like on a regular
I do,
basis.
I do. I pick and choose where I speak Spanish. Like, um, I'm fluent in Spanish. I write, I read, and I can speak Spanish. Of course, I have an American accent because I was born and raised here, and I don't practice it like I do English. So English is my dominant language. But my first language was Spanish. I don't speak regular Spanish like how you hear Cuban speak or Mexican speak. I speak like with a little accent from Dominican because we have our own lingo's, we have our own stuff. We talk in our own pace. And Spanish is different. Our Spanish is different than other cultures. Like you had something to say?
I was going to just tell KK and read that message that I said when I was like, that just ties back into Slick Straight.
So this is the thing though. Can a person identify or claim that he has more than one culture?
I
Yes.
think so. But I don't think that that goes back to our text messages. I think that in the text messages in the text message why we were so heated. Well, I wouldn't even say heated. Why we had the big disagreement is because you were not claiming the black culture at all. You were just like, I'm Hispanic, I'm Dominican, and that's that on that.
But when you go back to it, I'm I grew up in like I said, I grew up in a Dominican household. I'm not. It's not that I don't claim that black culture because I do, because I also know like I'm familiar with Black history. I'm familiar with all the arts of Black people. Like I've been raised like that. I've experienced like all those I've experienced like Black stuff. So I'm more Black. But at the same time, the way I grew up, in people told me I'm not Black or I'm not white. Like there's things that I didn't know because I was too young to understand. But I got made fun of my hair because when you go to a white boy school, your hair isn't the same. Everybody just like picking and choosing. Why is your hair so different? They make fun of your hair. So I was confused. I was like, so I'm not white. I'm not like y'all. But then I go to the Black people. They're like, you're not one of us. Look at our skin difference. You are not Black. Like they would tell me that. So I'm like, what am I really? So I grew up in the fact that I didn't know what my race was. So it's like, who am I? And it was something that I struggled with throughout the years. Like, are you Black? Am I Black or am I white? And then I think I'm light skinned, but people always told me I'm not Black, I'm white, or I'm not white, I'm Black, because I didn't fit in either of these groups. That's like a struggle that light skins go through. That y'all think we don't go, like y'all don't see that, but we go through that identity crisis of who are we. So that's why I said like that's why when people ask me my culture is like
Why are you laughing,
I'm
Kay?
Hispanic.
But okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this because you are maybe you are a little bit lighter
Just
than
I'm
me,
not laughing at you. I
but
promise.
obviously you're lighter than me, and you're lighter than Lay, but we're all light skinned, and I don't think I ever had that problem. I guess the only difference is because you are Hispanic. But when you what does your license say? What does your ID say when you had to take those tests and you had to mark down? your ethnicity,
Mm-hmm.
your ethnicity,
Your
whatever,
race.
and your race. What did you mark down?
So for my ethnicity, I always mark down Hispanic because that's an option. But for race, I struggle with that. Like, I don't think y'all understand that. It's like a struggle that I put. Like, am I black? Am I white?
So what do
I'm
you put?
Hispanic, so I put black and white because I'm
How
mixed.
you put both? You got to bubble
'Cause
in.
Well, I'm
yeah, I'm mixed
confused. Wait, hold on. Why is white in your category?
because my dad is white. Because that's like literally my thing. My dad is white.
He's
My
white.
mom's black.
His skin color is white.
Well, yeah, lighter than me, and it's like, yeah, I guess you could say white. So
But
it's crazy,
how does his hair look?
wavy, like, but it's like that, that John Stamos type of wave here.
Mhm. Because like I don't know if you remember in the text I was saying like as you have melanin in your skin, so at some point somebody black had to smash somebody
We
that
all
was
got
I
melanin
don't know
except for albinos. Albinos are the only people that don't got melanin in their skin.
who.
What?
That's why albinos are the people that don't got melanin in their skin. That's why they call it albinos. But we all got melanin.
Not all of us.
If people that are white just have less melanin, but we all got melanin in our skin, like to a certain degree, except albinos.
I mean, but okay, so I get that. Kudos to them. But when we are talking about melanin, we're talking about black people. We're not talking about white people. Let's
Black
like
History
come on
Month.
now.
Fuck them hoes.
You gotta, it's a, we gotta clear that.
We're not referring to melanin to that's not I don't think any black person would even reference melanin to a white person. That's just down on that.
But
Can we all
scientifically,
agree
that's
to
how it
that?
goes.
You said that's not typically, that's just how it goes.
Like scientifically, that's how it goes.
Oh,
But
scientifically, okay.
we talking about like our ways. Yeah, the melanin makes you black. But yeah, I do. I consider myself black. Like I've experienced that. I've experienced it with black discrimination. Like people look at me down the street, they lock their cars. I've experienced that. I was only like what a little boy, and they do that to me. Like I'm a black man in America, and I've experienced being pulled over by a cop. I experienced what is those side eyes people give. Like why? Like I know what it's like to be black in America because I've experienced it. You feel me? So that's why I say I am black. But my when you guys ask me my culture, like I rep my culture is Dominican. I'm Hispanic because that's my people. That's the language I speak. I'm proud of that. You feel me? So when they said, "Oh, he Mexicano," I found that kind of offensive because
Who said that?
that's too late. I know he was just joking about it, but that's offensive because we two different
Say
cultures. You
what?
feel
You
me?
Say that one more
said that?
time.
I thought he said Mexican.
Yeah, Mexicano.
Oh, I thought just okay. You continue.
Because if you know where it comes from, TikTok language. You know TikTok language started to tap into, but he Dominicano. He Dominicano.
Huh?
They get on my nerves.
Real bad.
So then I got a question for y'all. Can a person that wasn't born in that culture can claim that culture? Like a white person can claim a Mexican culture or like be a part of that culture.
I mean, there's more than this type of cultures because personally, I grew up in Louisiana culture. I'm Creole at heart, Cajun. I'm Cajun, but since I moved to Texas, I got
You're
that
Creole at heart or Haitian?
Creole.
Creole is a language,
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, baby.
but Creole is a language.
No, it's not.
So what is Creole?
The Louisiana culture. Well, my
Creole is a language.
I'm gonna
You
let you
speak Creole.
because I know what I'm talking about.
You see,
Now it
there's a
might be
difference
a
in
different
culture.
thing, but no, I don't think that if you are a white woman and you trying to be like a part of the Black culture, I don't think that is a thing. Like that's when we get into the culture
Justin, could you
appropriation.
restate your question, please, so I
Which,
can what
say
you
it?
said about somebody claiming a culture or something like that?
Like, if you're not born in that culture, can you claim or be a part of that culture?
You can be a part of it,
But
but you can't claim it.
But what being a part of it is
Like you
to
can
a way of
support it.
claiming
That's what I'm saying. Like as far as like supporting the culture, but as far as you saying, as far as you being a white woman or even a Black man and saying, I don't need what is I don't know what. Okay, let me see. Like it's saying you're a Black person, but you're a part of the Asian culture. How?
because you
How could you
know
be a
that.
part of a culture that you're not
Because
in? Like
it all comes down to how you define the culture. How do you claim to be a part of a culture? Is it the history, the art? What do you claim of that culture? Think about it.
I'm
Culture is not just one thing; it's
talking about
multiple things.
like I feel like it's the same thing you talk about religion. If you grew up as a Baptist, but then you converge into a Christian, like it's all about learning more, thinking about where you feel like you belong at. I don't
but
think
that's different.
that
How's
is
it different
different.
though?
That's
How's it
different
different?
because that's like your belief. That's your
That's
belief.
like
I mean,
you
look,
one day you wake up and say my favorite color yellow, and then the next minute your favorite color blue. That's different. You cannot just be a Black person throughout yourself, and then one day you go experience the the Asian culture, and you like what they got going on, but you can't just say, "Oh, I'm Asian now."
it's not
I'm a part
about
of the
saying
Asian culture. No.
it's y'all looking at culture as me saying like, "Hey, I look like you. I'm one of you." Nah, I'm part.
No,
No, actually,
that's
I'm
not what
not.
I'm
I'm
looking at it
looking at
like.
it. I'm
That's
looking
what.
at it as saying like that's like you just being. That's like you eating Chinese food and then you thinking, oh, because you eat Chinese food, you're a part of their culture. Like, so you have to define in your own words. How do you be a part of someone's culture? How do you say that's my culture? How would you? How do you do that?
Learning it, take it serious, make sure it's done daily, not it's like a spur of a moment, like, oh my God, I love the culture. I'm part of the culture now. Like, no, this has to be like over some years. Like, say you found a nigga that's a Korean nigga and you really liked him. You start doing like be into his traditions, you start doing what he been doing, y'all break up, and you like, I still fuck with that tradition. Let me still do the shit I've been doing, but not with him.
No, because like for me personally, I'm gonna just talk about for me personally. I've been knowing Haitians since I was in middle school. Like I know a few things about the Haitian culture, and I like Haitians. I love Haitians actually, but I'm not gonna be like, okay, I've been around Haitian culture for a long time, so I'm a part of the Haitian culture.
That's what I'm saying. Then in the point of you actually telling yourself that, you actually manifested it, and then one day it's reality. You just saying
It's
like,
never going to be reality because I'm not Haitian.
But you don't need to be you don't need to be born in to be Haitian to be a part of the Haitian culture. You
So
learn the
it's one
language, you
thing.
know the
So that's what
history.
I'm saying. It's one thing about being a part. So I feel like the word being a part changes it changes the sentence, right? So you can be a part of a person. You can be a part of the culture because like you're married to a Haitian man or something like that. But to say that that's your culture is not.
And
But
that's
it is.
offensive. That's
It
offensive.
is.
No, it's
That's
not.
like,
It is.
yes, it is, because that's like you, a person, somebody having a Jamaican party, and then somebody from China bring jerk oxtails to the event. They gonna be looking like
Not
that's
only that.
offensive.
How is that
Not
offensive
only
though?
that.
Only y'all see that offensive.
No,
Not only
not just
that.
us, because I've been at events where people cooked food outside of their culture and brought it to a place where that culture is, and the people be like I'm not eating food from somebody Like, I'm not about to eat Jamaican food from somebody that's not Jamaican. And they was offended by it. That's offensive.
Yeah, I agree. That's like going to a Chinese restaurant with a whole bunch of black people. Like, are you serious? But no, I was going to even say this. I was going to even say, you can hold your thought, but wait till let me say this. I was going to even say for Halloween, right? When people dress up like different cultures, it's a problem to do that. So especially if you're not that culture, it's a problem for you to even dress up like them on Halloween. So I don't think that you can just.
How do you think Muslims work though? You get married you marry a Muslim, right? You're now a Muslim by marriage. So you're a part of that. You claim that. You're
religion.
It's the same thing with culture though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You can still have
it's not. It's not the same thing.
Yes,
people can switch their religion today, tomorrow, next year, next month.
I don't
you cannot claim a culture that's not who you like. What?
Yes, you can. That's
no. Y'all crazy.
How do you
it's not crazy? It's literally called that.
Wait.
What you've been used to. That's like literally saying, I married a Korean man. I live with him. I'm speaking from a female perspective. I make a point. I'm a female. I'm a woman living with. I'm from America. I made a Korean man. We fly to Korea. I'm living with him. That's all. I'm with him all the fucking time. We break up. I have a kid. It ain't gonna be an American culture on this bitch. It's gonna be Korean culture. Like me and my child will raise in that shit. Well, my child will be raised in it, and I have to teach them that shit. Like it's not no ifs, ands, buts about it. Like if you want to survive and adapt to where the fuck we at.
At that point, your child can't claim the Korean culture because he's actually Korean.
And so can you, because you are part of the Korean culture.
I'm teaching the motherfucker and the rights and the wrongs.
Oh my God.
KK, are you American?
She's big American. She's ignorant American.
How do you think American culture became? American culture. You're part of Miami too, where you're full of diversity. You probably ate a croqueta before. You know what that is. You know what these pastries are. You probably ate that before. It's part of Miami culture. I probably ate what? A pastry, una croqueta.
Okay.
It's part of Miami culture.
I ate those too.
But what do you think those Miami culture is part of? From Hispanic culture, because
Miami has a lot of different cuisines. What are you getting at right now?
It's a Miami culture thing because we're full of diversity. We have different things, but we claim we're from Miami, right? It's a culture too. It's a city. It's a place of origin.
But that's those people's culture. Me saying from Miami, I'm not saying, oh, I'm from Miami and I'm claiming to be Jamaican, Chinese, Asian, and whatever else food that they got down here, Indian, like what?
Look at Jay though. He's from Miami, but then went to Georgia. He has Georgia in him and Miami. So now he's part of two different cultures, right? Georgia got a different.
I don't have Georgia in me.
So what is Georgia?
What do you mean by Georgia in me?
I do agree with you right now because I'm from Louisiana.
You're giving DMX robot, and I don't understand what you're saying.
But Justin, what you mean? What you mean by
it's breaking up?
Georgia.
You adapted to Georgia. You haven't been in Miami, so it's two different things. Like when I went to Georgia, I seen it's more calm, more quiet than Miami. What I've seen, and I'm pretty sure you adjusted to Georgia.
But I haven't gotten any like culture from Georgia. Like I wouldn't say that I have Georgia in me. Like I don't have any culture. I don't.
Well, can you hear me before I say what I say? I agree with Justin because, like I said earlier, I'm from Louisiana. I'm like that shit is in me. Period. Like I know I know what I was raised on. I know my respect, my morals. I know what my morals are. I know my values in life because of where I was raised at. But me coming to Houston, I learned most shit. I adapted to so much shit, and I'm just who I am today because I moved and I just have two different perspectives on life. I have that country in me and I have that city in me. And just me having that, I don't know, it's a balance, literally. So I just agree with him because it's like I have that Louisiana in me all the time. Like, but I know that Houston made me, if that makes sense. Like Louisiana raised me, but Houston made me. At the end of the day, that shit just made me where I am today. So I don't know. I just disagree with y'all on that because you can also have two different cultures because Texas has a culture culture. It's not a culture, but it's definitely like a vibe, as a aesthetic. Hey, you need to get in or don't fit in. So it's like, yeah, in Louisiana, it's either you get punched the fuck down or stand the fuck up. So yeah,
It's like, but our cities basically is a culture because we don't talk the same. We say things that aren't the same. We eat different types of food because in Miami, coffee, cafe cubano is normal, but y'all don't have that in y'all's country or in y'all's cities. They don't know what a cafe cubano
yeah, I
is.
don't know what it is. Besides a coffee, iced coffee.
It's
I'm
like
pretty
a
sure
very
you can find
hard.
that everywhere. Like it's probably one place, but you can find it. It's not like it's
add,
foreign
bitch,
to
add extra
But
caramel. Bitch, everybody drink
it's
that.
not as normal. It's not as normal as it is in Miami.
right.
And normal over
So
here is a large caramel frappuccino, extra caramel at the top and the bottom. Don't forget my caramel.
so
Did we
Are
get
y'all
into
done
it?
being the
Did we get into it?
We got into it because like culture is more than just knowing what you was raised on. I feel like culture is knowing what you was raised on and knowing what you stand on right now because on what you was raised on. I feel like that's what culture is.
what?
What the fuck you mean? What? Culture is what you was raised on and what you know right fucking now. What the fuck you mean? Bitch, what can you cook right now?
What can I cook right now? I can actually cook a lot. Let's keep the hostility at a minimum. Let's
Right,
just do that.
right. It was a little
And
strong.
and then we just gonna close this off with you can't claim nobody culture. I don't care how much you like it. Period.